was 1 minute before boarding. And I heard that notification. I was like, oh my gosh, our gate changed. It didn't even show up on the screen to let us know. Don't want to get lost.
No one wants to get lost in a city you've never been in.
And he was talking on his phone, and somebody ran up and grabbed the phone right out of his hand.
Welcome to the I Can't Wait to Travel podcast, and I'm Lisa.
And I'm Anthony.
And we are here for our last episode of season 1. How exciting! The I Can't Wait to Travel podcast is about travel, relationships, and everything in between. And we just wanted to end this season with just some important value for you. We have the top 20 travel mishaps.
Ooh.
We're going to tell you the top 20 things that happen in travel that you should avoid. We're going to let you know
No.
all of the things that we have done, whether it's an error or even a twist around to make sure that we can get back on the right path, and just give you some important tips to help you to travel while we are on break before season 2.
That's right. Are you ready to get started?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Okay. Travel mishap number 1 is loss or delayed luggage. This has to be so annoying. So, is there any wood here? Knock on leather.
Oh.
I have never lost luggage. Have you?
I've lost luggage. So we talked about in one of our episodes when I was flying back from England as a wee little lad, my luggage got mislost. Missed and lost at the same time.
Okay.
On the double-decker bus, they took my luggage off and placed it on the ground, and I did not find out until I got back to Heathrow.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's right. So you could go back and listen to what that story was like. So lost my luggage there, got it back a couple months later. Not sure why it took so long. Probably didn't take a plane back. Probably put it on a boat like in old times. That's why it took about 2-3 months to get it back. But we almost lost our luggage.
Yes.
We were coming back from Los Cabos, which is one of my favorite destinations.
It is.
And at the time, we didn't realize that, well, before I get into that. So we get off the plane. We're going to connect in DFW Airport, which is Dallas-Fort Worth. Got to put a little Texas twang on it, talking about Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. Got there to Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. And we got about 2-3 hours for our next flight off of American Airlines. And we're just walking through and walking past the baggage claim to be able to go to our next gate. And we're just like, do. That looks like my luggage. Going by in one of the carousels. Just keep walking. That looks like your luggage. Hold on. Wait 1 minute. I run over there. Look, it's our luggage. So the mishap was at that time, we didn't realize when you're coming back into the United States of the American born, American bred, that you actually have to take your luggage when it comes back and they drop your luggage off. You got to pick it up and then you got to recheck it back in. And that's how we found out coming back into the United States of the America, you got to recheck your baggage back in.
Such an important tip, guys. So if you're heading on an international flight with a layover, they will automatically put your bag onto the flight on the second leg. But if you're coming back into the United States, make sure you stop to recheck your bag for the next flight, or your bag will stay in that first city that you landed in. So important. So many people don't realize that.
You know what's so interesting is American Airlines, you're always waiting for your bags. And it just so happened to be that was the first time the baggage actually got to baggage claim before we actually got there.
Absolutely.
What's next on our list?
Sure. Top 2, travel mishap. Flight delays or cancellations. So when you have a flight delay, you just want to get home.
I just want to go home.
Or if your flight gets canceled, it's so annoying.
Home.
You know, so many people, like, we want to have that good spirit to say, if the flight's canceled, I'd rather it be canceled than have, like, you know, a mechanic issue or something like that.
A mechanic issue.
But we really want to get home. Like, we're
I
just
wanna
like,
go home.
We try to be good sports, but it's tough.
It is tough. You know, I had a situation where a couple of situations where I've been delayed. One was I was connecting through some city. I don't remember. It was for work many years ago. And they say, sorry, folks. Isn't it weird that a lot of times you can't even hear what the heck they're saying on these mics sometimes? But anyhow, I'm sorry, there's a slight delay, mechanical issue. Flight is going to be departing in probably about 1 to 2 hours. Everybody's like, I'm like, all right, well, might as well go get something to eat. So I'm walking down the corridor. I'm talking to some passenger that was on there. I was like, yeah, this and that. And then all of a sudden, a couple minutes later, mind you, this probably flight had about maybe 200-300 people on it. And we all left at the same time. Somehow, something happened, and I just started seeing people running back the other way. And you know how sometimes black folk are. We ain't asking no questions. You see somebody running, you just run. And mid-conversation, talking to this lady, I just grabbed my stuff and ran and started following the crowd. I was like, why are we running? What happened? Oh, the flight is now getting ready to take off. Oh, okay, good. And so that's how I did not miss.
That poor lady that you were talking to was probably like,
I don't remember what happened to her either.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Insane. So, any tips for flight delays and cancellations?
Well, the good thing is now is that most of definitely want to have the app for American Airlines, Delta, JetBlue, because now what you do, this was kind of a couple of years back, but now you'll get notified when there's a delay. I was just on a flight last week or 2 weeks ago to New York City, and I had my headphones in, and I was just talking at the gate. We were ready to board, and all of a sudden the app notified me and said, oh, your gate is now switched from I think it was gate 3. Now you're at gate 41. And so I heard that on my phone while waiting it was 1 minute before boarding. And I heard that notification. I was like, oh my gosh, our gate changed. It didn't even show up on the screen to let us know.
Wow.
So I was a part of the first crew that was running to the next gate.
That's good. Even with our business, I Can't Wait to Travel, the app that we provide for all of our clients, it gives them gate notifications as well. So it's really helpful.
Double down.
Absolutely. And if you have a cancellation, you know, airport prices are really high. Try to, I know we're not used to doing this anymore, but bring a snack. Always, like you like to do the trail mix or almonds in your bag. Just always have something just in case. Yeah. Water. You never know. Sometimes you can be even stuck on the plane for hours.
That happened to me before.
So you want to definitely always have something to eat in your bag.
Yeah, and something to keep you entertained. I always have a number of movies on my phone just in case.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
What else we got?
Travel mishap number 3. Getting lost.
Don't want to get lost.
No one wants to get lost in a city you've never been in.
Yeah.
So I actually will give you lots of credit.
I get kudos.
Yeah.
For the win.
You are really good about having all the Google Maps and the apps to make sure that we always know where we are. Even when we are like in Rome and we're walking through the city.
Mamma mia.
You put it on the app and it goes to your phone so we don't look like tourists like walking around trying to find the Colosseum or where to go. Yeah. So you do a great job about the apps. Any tips that you want to give them on not getting lost?
Good question. So like you said, you have the Google Maps, and anywhere I go, I like to look at the overall landscape and get a good idea of where we're going to be, especially if we're going to be in that city for a while. So I want to have a good visualization of where this is or where that is. Also, it's good to know where the embassy is in case anything goes down.
Absolutely.
You want to know where to go. But what we did in Rome is I had my earpiece in, that lucky old good old earpiece, and I put in Google Maps that we're walking to Coliseum or wherever we're going to, and it's on my wristwatch. So then it's telling me make a right on Fifth Street or whatever, and then I'm looking down at my Apple Watch, and it's showing me the turn-by-turn directions. I don't have to have my phone out, because I have a friend. He went to Brazil, and he was talking on his phone, and somebody ran up and grabbed the phone right out of his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Phone go bye-bye. So
Yes.
that was something I love to use is the maps on my phone and have my earpiece in.
Absolutely. Great job. That was a great tip.
Thank you.
So tip number 4, or mishap number 4 rather,
Ooh.
lost or stolen passport or wallet. That is horrible. So if you were to want money, need to have your passport with you, always wear the crossbody bag. Put your wallet, put your passport in front of you so that no one can reach into your back pocket. And then what would you do if you lost your wallet or your passport?
Well, that's a good thing. You want to go?
No, please.
Well, I think that's how I'll go. So what I've done, and this is a tip that people have said, is take a photograph of your passport and maybe keep a paper copy or whatnot. Because if it does get stolen, you want to be able to have some proof of it. I'm sure that the embassy and other folks could be able to help you with that. But take a photo of it, maybe have a copy of it. And that's something that you do. Put it in your safe in the hotel room.
Absolutely.
Keep it in a safe, sound location. But also what some of the international hotels do, they will take a photocopy of your passport as well, too, sometimes. As well. So they're doing that. And that's where I kind of got it from. I noticed they were doing that. I say, okay, I peep game. I peep game. I see what you're doing. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing. So that's my tip and trick.
Absolutely. What about a lost wallet?
Ooh, lost wallet. The other thing is I don't really carry wallets much, but you want to be able to at least have like another major credit card on you. You could just keep that one in your luggage or whatnot. So you don't want to be traveling just with one credit card. Like if that's the only option you have, maybe, it is what it is. But I don't carry all this stuff with me where I'm going out, but that's why you want to keep another credit card with you in your safe as well, with that photocopy of that passport,
Exactly.
just in case. What else we got? What else we got for the great people of I Can't Wait to Travel listeners?
Number 5, language barriers. So many of us are going to countries we don't speak the language. For us, when it's a Spanish-speaking country, we've been brushing up on our Spanish always.
Bien.
And but we've gone to Turkey, and when we're in
Ni hao.
That's not how they speak in Turkey.
No, I know.
When we went to Turkey or even Greece, we didn't know how to speak the language.
We did not know how to speak the language there. And they have apps now that can help you translate. And so when people are speaking, you can hear what they're saying. It'll translate it into English for you. You know, a funny story it is when we got to Greece, Athens, Greece, and we got out the airport. And then I'm seeing all the amazing things, all the biblical places, Thessalonica, and all these other things. Like, wow. And I look to the right and I see Exodus. I was like, exit, Exodus.
Yeah, in Greek, the language is so literal. Like, we're like, oh my gosh, like this makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, you had to use the restroom in Greece at the airport. And you're like, how do you say bathroom in Greek? And I was like, I don't know. And then we looked up and was like, toileta. We're like,
toileta. Some things are just literal in certain languages. Like, that makes so perfect sense.
Right. I think we're just so used to Spanish with like baño. It's going to be a totally different word.
Dame un baño, por favor. See? A little Spanish for you.
Definitely. We're in a time and age where you shouldn't even have to worry about speaking another language anymore. Like, there's just so many apps.
And because of tourism in a lot of these international countries, it behooves them to, hey, we got to have people that speak English. So it's easy to be able to get around, even if you don't know the language. But there are some places where English isn't going to be the preference. They want you to speak their language. People have said that they see it as more enduring, that you're actually trying to learn their language.
Yeah, it's very
You know?
endearing because like it shows that you respect their culture.
Yeah.
For sure. Alrighty. Number 6. This is a problem that we struggle with.
Uh-oh.
Overpacked bags.
I struggle. That's you. You overpack.
Every single vacation that we've been on, you have said, "Oh, I packed too many clothes.
Packed too much.
I packed too many clothes."
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you like you try to plan for each day. Okay, I'm gonna wear this in the morning. I'm gonna wear this in the afternoon. I'm gonna wear this at night. But are we even changing clothes that often when we're at home?
No, not at home. But like when you're like out, especially in the Caribbean, you're hot, you're sweaty. Yeah, you want to change your clothes, take a shower.
Wear those dry fits that keep you good, nice and dry.
Yeah.
But when we went to Europe, when we went for those 16 days, and we didn't want to overpack, so we packed enough. And the benefit was that on that cruise ship we went on, Silver Sea, which was absolutely amazing.
I know.
Best cruise experience I've ever been on, hands down. The best. They had washer and dryer on every floor at no additional cost. So we were able to wash our clothes and rewear them.
Yeah. Now, for the fashionistas out there, they may not want to rewear their clothes.
The same clothes
because they want to be on Instagram and flaunt the outfit. But it definitely was helpful. If you're going to stay anywhere for more than a week, it's nice to have a place that you can wash your clothes.
Oh, yeah, totally. And we met a couple when we were in Napa Valley, and they said, we never, ever travel where we have to check our bags in. They have carry-ons, and they're like very seasoned travel. They're probably in their 60s or 70s. And they said the benefit for them was that because they had carry-ons, when they've had delays, we're talking about mishaps, right? The topic's on mishaps and delays. And because there have been delays or cancellations, they've been able to just grab their stuff out the top, go on and book another flight and get up out of there while everybody else is having to wait for all their luggage to come back or whatever it may be. So there's some benefits in that.
I mean, I get it. And it's amazing. I can't go away in the winter for 16 days with a carry-on.
Yeah. I get it. It is a little tough.
But there are so many tips. Like what I have done, other than washing the clothes, is I've planned out, like, if you can do, I'm just going to do one outfit a day. And you plan the one outfit a day, like if in the winter trips.
Yeah, because you're not really perspiring.
Yeah. It's just like, this is my day outfit, and maybe you have a dinner outfit.
Yeah.
If you can do that, I think you can make it work.
Yeah.
Or if you can say, for those of you, we're getting really nitty gritty in the TMI. But like, if you're like, okay, I'm going to wear these jeans maybe a couple times on this trip.
Hey, it's like that sometimes.
Yeah. But definitely packing is a struggle.
Yeah.
Alrighty. The next mishap. Number 7, hotel booking issues.
There's been a number of hotel booking issues when I booked them, apparently.
Well, let us know.
Well, case in point. And like I mentioned, I like to scope out that Google Map location when I'm booking this hotel. And I booked a hotel when we went to the Concrete Jungle, also known as Toronto, Ontario, Canada, my hometown. Shout out to my hometown people. And I knew I shouldn't have booked this place when I saw the graffiti on a mailbox.
He's like, when I saw the gang sitting outside on the stoop.
I knew I should not have booked this place. But I wanted to be a little bit more economically sound for this trip because it wasn't really a vacation. And needless to say, when we showed up, I should have followed my instincts. That hotel was not what I expected. What kind of hotel was it? We go into the place, we check in, we get to the room, it's dark. It had, you open up the closet, it had like some fake rat on the closet door. Like, who does that? What is this about? Like a fake rat?
It was a fake mouse.
A mouse, rat, rodent. Like, it was just weird. It just seemed
Walt Disney does that.
But I mean, yeah. But you go there and you're going there with the expectation that you're going to see Mickey and Minnie Mouse and whatnot. I didn't expect to open up the closet door and see a fake rat on there. That's a part of their decoration. It felt like it was like some college town type thing. I don't know. It was weird.
Let me tell you guys.
Let you tell it.
The Anthony that I met.
Oh boy, here we go.
In 1999 is not the Anthony that sits before you in 2025.
I'm the same one.
This man has gotten bougie.
Who, me?
Bougie.
No.
So this hotel, I won't say their name because but it's a recognized hotel. It's not low level. It's a moderate hotel. And yes, the room was darker. It was more in the city style.
But that's fine if it was in the city style.
I understand.
This one was just a little bit on the outskirts of the main downtown Toronto, just on the little.
We've shared with the visitors, the viewers, the first hotel you booked for us when we first started dating.
It was a great hotel. It was absolutely wonderful.
And we saw how bad that is. Now compare that hotel to the hotel you're referring to in Canada right now.
Different expectations, though, at the time.
Absolutely. But I'm just saying that was like a royal palace compared to where you
I don't know about royal palace. I don't know about that. But needless to say, there was no way I was going to stay one night in there. And we went downstairs, and I say we, but Lisa went and spoke to management.
He lets me do all the bad guy work.
We spoke to management, and management was kind to let us out of that contract and allow us to go book somewhere else. And when we got there,
you can share the new place we went to.
What was it called? No, I can't remember.
It was in the financial district, but I don't remember the name.
The name is escaping me. But that was my speed.
Yes.
That place was nice.
So let me let you guys know about Anthony.
Oh boy, here we go.
When we walk into a hotel, he's looking around, checking it out. He wants a certain vibe, like a hello, Mr. Service type of vibe.
No, I don't. No. Hello, Anthony's fine.
He prefers when the hello comes from someone with a European accent.
That is not true. Because the guy who said hello to us was a Jamaican guy.
British accent. British
Jamaican.
Then, when we go into the room, he's looking around, and I know he won't admit this. But his first thought in his mind is, how can I get an upgrade? How can I get an upgrade?
A lot.
We could be in the penthouse, and he's like, is there an upgrade?
I want to be on the roof. No, not always.
But most of the time, you're like, you think we can get an upgrade? And I'm like,
depending on
upgrade to
depending
what?
on
Look
how
at
the
this
room is.
Look how great it is.
I didn't say that at Alila in Napa Valley, where we were on the base.
There was only one room above us at Alila.
Well, I was good I was good there.
All right.
Even at Meadowwood, I was good there.
So the next mishap, number 8, health issues and travel sickness.
Oh, yeah.
So it is the worst to be sick on vacation. You've paid for this trip. Who wants to be sick?
Yeah.
That's horrible. And as you guys have seen in our past season about me being sick in Hawaii with lupus. So I actually remember when you were sick.
Me?
On vacation. You don't remember?
What trip was that? I never get sick. Ever get sick.
So we were only a couple years into our marriage.
Yeah.
And I was only in PA school at this time. So I wasn't good at like diagnosing yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still in the program.
You're still an internet diagnoser.
So we were on a cruise, Royal Caribbean, and your throat was hurting so much.
Probably from karaoke.
And when I said, let me see, and I took a flashlight and looked at your throat, you had like classic textbook strep throat. You had like the red dots, the petechiae on your on the palate.
Not the petechiae.
And I was like, that looks interesting. I had no idea what it was.
Google it.
But you didn't go to the doctor on the Royal Caribbean cruise, and you just suffered for the whole cruise with this sore throat.
Gotta
Do
power
you remember
through it.
that?
I don't.
Even when we
went through it.
When we went to that Blue River in Jamaica.
Oh,
and I
when you jumped in, that was when I was sick.
You didn't even want to jump in because your throat was hurting so much.
I didn't want to get all the marine life sick, so I let Lisa do it. Somebody got to do it.
But the crazy thing is, if you had just gotten an antibiotic, you could have been cured within 24 hours.
Then why didn't you prescribe me one?
I was just starting PA school.
You could have Googled it. Google doctor.
So it's just horrible being sick on vacation.
It sucks. Well, that trip wasn't really a long trip anyway, so.
No, but
we're back home.
It's still a trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty, so the next mishap is number 9, missing important connections. So if you miss your connection, that's insane.
Yeah.
Luckily, we live in South Florida,
so
we don't really have to do that many connections at all. But for the people who live in like central US and every single flight is a connection, good Lord.
Yeah, that's a rough one. And a lot of times we have to end up flying out of Miami International Airport to avoid those connections. But depending on where you're flying to overseas, to Europe or whatnot, you might have to end up connecting anyway.
Right.
Especially if you want to have good economical ticket, because sometimes they take advantage of that, the direct flights. But
do you have any tips for people with missed connections?
Well, when we book flights, one of the tips is we make sure if we're doing a connection that we're not going to pick a flight option that only has like a 45-minute connecting window.
Exactly.
All right. Because then you're really, if you have any delays from your flight taking off from wherever you're leaving to when you arrive, then your chances are you might miss that connection. And then you're going to have to book another flight, because at that point, depending if it's the airport's fault, they'll compensate you and they'll help you.
But they can't compensate your time.
No. And time is the biggest piece there. So we typically try to at least get an hour and a half to 2 hours, hour and a half or more, feel more comfortable with maybe 2 to 3 hour time frame. But one of the benefits is if you take the earliest flight, the chances are you getting delayed are like
slim to none.
Slim to none. So you shouldn't have anything to worry to. If anything, you might arrive even earlier to your gate.
Absolutely. The later your flight is a chance of all the previous flights running late.
Yep.
Yeah.
And through the app, you can see where that plane is at, the plane that you're supposed to get on. And a lot of times, if it's an early morning flight, that plane has arrived the night before and it's just waiting to go. They've already done the maintenance checks, etc.
Absolutely. Great advice.
Thank you.
The next tip is unfamiliar currency and payment problems. So many of our clients reach out to me and they say, should I convert my money? What should I do with my credit card? How do I navigate this? And, definitely you always have to have a major credit card. And when I say major, no, I don't want to, speak poorly of like Discover, but you want like a Visa, MasterCard,
American
major,
Express.
Exactly. Even, I think Visa and MasterCard, in my opinion, is even the strongest.
Yeah.
But just a major credit card that you don't have to get to someone's counter and they say, oh, I'm so sorry, we don't accept that.
Because some places won't take American Express.
Or Discover.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you want to make sure that your credit card also, if it has international charges that you know ahead of time, so you're not surprised when you get back, you're like, that $2 pizza cost me $10. So you really want to make sure you look into that.
Which it's good to have a major credit card that does not charge you any international fees as well too.
For sure. And what about currency? We rarely exchange our money.
Yeah, we rarely do. But there's the benefit is if you do exchange your money into the local currency, when you go to a market, you can wheel and deal more with people because you're paying now cash versus if you're using a card, then they're going to be charged an extra fee because you're using your credit card.
Right.
So there is benefits of having cash to be able to bargain with those vendors.
Right. So for our clients who are doing like all-inclusive vacations and they're going to the Caribbean and Central America, the US dollar trumps everything. So you're going to get much further with your US dollar. And a lot of those clients, we've already planned their entire trip, so everything's prepaid. So they don't really have to worry about using money too much. The times where I felt like we were like, I guess we should convert is more like in Europe.
Yeah.
Like for instance, when we were taking the taxi, some of them had the credit card machines, but others were wanting the local currency.
Yeah. And sometimes the credit card machines weren't even working.
Exactly. So of course, whenever you're ready to travel, we will let you know which countries are more prone to just use their currency more than the US dollar.
Yeah.
Definitely. Our next mishap.
Uh-oh. We are number 10 already?
10! We just did 10. We are at number 11. Baggage claim issues.
10,
oh my
11,
gosh.
10, 11.
So just
10,
baggage
11.
in general, we have gone to the baggage claim desk more than I'd like to ever say.
Oh, Lord.
My dear husband loves to travel with American Airlines.
I don't love to travel with it. It's the most convenient for where we're located.
Yes, that's true.
I would say that.
But he doesn't know that when we give our luggage to American Airlines, they have people back there with sledgehammers doing this to our luggage.
Take this. This is Sparta.
So, surprisingly, I did research with one of our I Can't Wait on Friends. I Can't Wait on Friends to Travel is one of our Facebook groups. And we were looking at the airlines that had the least amount of baggage damage issues. And it was actually Singapore and Emirates were the best.
Singapore and Emirates. So they're hoity-toity. Yeah. You get what you pay for.
Yeah. But we've gone there so many times. When we went to Napa, they destroyed your bag.
Yep.
And now they have a new process where you scan the barcode.
Yep.
And did you get another bag yet?
Yeah. So you used to be able to go up to the customer service desk, fill out the form right there. They would examine it right there. They'll say, yeah, this claim is legit. Because now the wheel was missing off of our luggage. We've probably traveled all the times we've been on. We've had like 4 or 5 checked bags that were damaged.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. This was the first time the wheel was missing off of it. And now the new policy is you got to scan some QR code, take these pictures, submit a form electronically. Somebody's going to review it. They reviewed it wherever they were in some call center and like, oh no, this isn't valid. What do you mean this isn't valid? You can see I'm missing a wheel. So I sent all these emails out. Somebody finally answered and it wasn't a bot. And they replied and said, yeah, this is valid. Well, we're submitting the claim to another claim department. They must have like 2 different claim people, the claim departments. And they validated it was valid. Oh yeah, we can fix it. They said, here's your shipping label. Go to FedEx and we're not going to provide a box for you to put the luggage in, the checked bag in, but instead, we see a lot. This is what they said. We see a lot of people just put their luggage in a heavy-duty garbage bag, put the FedEx label on it, and ship it out to us, and we'll get it fixed.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But you know what they did? Yeah. There's so many steps because they're hoping along the way that you'll just say, oh, forget it.
I'll just buy another one.
Yeah.
But
not you. One. Not you.
Nope, you ain't going to get me. You're going to go through those steps. You're going to give me my bag.
Oh, my God. Number 12, unforeseen weather conditions.
Yeah.
So definitely the tip beyond tips is travel insurance.
Oh, yeah.
If there's a hurricane coming,
that part,
whatever the unforeseen weather condition is, you want to make sure you have travel insurance so you are protected. For sure. Definitely. Now, here's a travel consultant tip that I'm going to give you. You guys are not all my clients. I'm still giving you this one.
Still getting a little free tip.
Absolutely. Now, you want to get the additional cancel for any reason.
Ooh.
Because if you have a cruise, for example, or you're going to the Caribbean and a hurricane's coming that way, the cruise is just going to say, well, we're rerouting the cruise. We're going to be watching the hurricane. So you're still at sea, even though the hurricane's over here, you're over here. And you may not feel comfortable with that. So you have the cancel for any reason option. Yes, you do not get all of your 100% back, but you get up to 75% back. So that's something.
Yeah.
And say, for instance, there's a gray area. Well, there were times even with COVID, you're like, people are like, I don't feel comfortable traveling to the hotel. Like, well, the hotel's still open. The airlines are still flying. So you have to go. If there's that gray area, you can use your cancel for any reason insurance and say, not me, I'm not going.
No. And because of those cruise rerouting, some people, they thought, oh, we're going to go to 5 different ports. Come to find out, you get to only go to 1 because they're dodging the hurricane and you just spend all that time at sea. Now, the cruise lines are going to do all that they can for entertainment and they have backup and whatnot. But that's not what we paid for.
Yeah. Like we had planned a cruise to go because Anthony really wanted to go to Israel. And Egypt was a nice bonus to that.
Yeah.
And there was, of course, the conflict in Israel. We couldn't go anymore. And they rerouted the entire cruise.
Yeah.
Thank God the reroute ended up being amazing.
Yeah, it was still just as well. Just as good. Yeah.
You definitely want to have insurance to cover that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Alrighty. So we are on to number 13. Overbooked or full restaurants.
Yeah.
So guys, honestly, we can't relate.
Don't know what
We're
that
just
feels
such
like.
planners that we plan our entire trip.
Yeah.
I know it sounds like it's a little tedious, but make reservations ahead of time.
Yeah,
If you're going
well
to Paris, you're going to Rome, you're going to all these places, make reservations ahead of time.
Yeah.
The worst that could happen is you say, you know what? We can't make it. As long as there's not a charge, you can cancel within 24 hours before the trip.
We even booked reservations for a dinner and stuff ahead of time for the cruises.
Of course. You never want to wait until you're on the cruise to say, let's go to the specialty restaurant. Yeah. Because that's when you have to shuck and drive.
Yeah, trying to wait. And that's what happened on one of the European cruises last year. For the specialty restaurant, we're like, oh, we want to go. We don't have that time. Nope, we don't have that time. Nope, we don't have that time.
Yep.
And we had to go shuck and chive and try to get through. And we were able to get to the specialty restaurant, weren't we?
Does we mean yes or we means us?
We.
Because every time we had an incident like that, you said me.
Me.
Anthony always feels like for some reason that people are more responsive to women than men in situations like that. They are.
And that is what I observed. Is that they're more, they see a woman, she's this and that. Oh, yeah, we'll accommodate you. We'll do this and that for you. I come in as a dude, like, no soup for you. You come in, oh, yes, we have all the soup we need for you. Here you go.
That's just because you got to smile.
I am smiling. You got any room for 2?
Number 14, another mishap on the list is taxi or rideshare mishaps.
Yeah.
So
I got a little. Well, you know what? I feel comfortable using rideshare in the United States of the America, but I feel a little apprehensive depending on different countries I go to. Maybe possibly because of safety reasons. I probably more likely take the taxi because they're insured. They're part of a taxi conglomerate or whatever company. Or if we're going to a different hotel, you could use the transportation from the hotel, which is what I prefer to use as well too. Or book that ahead of time versus just when I get there, taxi. You know, what do you?
That's a great point.
Think?
When we do, it does cost more, but when we do go to European countries that we have not been to, we usually have the hotel pick us up at the airport just because they are waiting with a sign with your name and you don't even have to look for them. As soon as you get your luggage, they're standing there and they bring you right to your hotel. Now, if I've been there before, I feel more comfortable. Like now, like if we were to go to Barcelona again, I could take a taxi.
The taxi is easier.
Yeah. But do you know, I probably shouldn't be airing this on the show.
TV? We're on TV? Well, if they're streaming it to the TV, I guess we're on TV.
But there's some tips I have for just using Ubers and rideshares and taxis in general.
Okay, let's hear it.
So if you are a solo traveler, you live by yourself, our biggest worry is like, okay, so now this Uber driver or taxi driver knows that we're on vacation. It's like the biggest setup for like, come back and do something, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
So it's almost like the solo traveler woman who's like talking to her fake boyfriend or her fake friend on the phone, like, I'm going to meet you there in a second.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that you guys should create the illusion that there's people in the house. Like,
my boyfriend.
Hey, Tony, close the door.
Close the door. The pizza smell's getting out, huh?
Close the door, Tony. You know, you want to do things so that they don't know that there's no one. Yeah.
Or, I'm meeting my girlfriend here. I'm meeting my boyfriend here. Oh, yeah, he's got, Bob, I should see you in 5 minutes. The guy, the taxi's dropping me off soon. The Uber. Yeah.
You definitely, you know, want to be careful because you don't know who these people are. Make sure you always confirm the code, the name, do all of that good stuff before you get in. That's true.
Because with Uber, one of the benefits is that there's a code on there. So once they can't actually punch in your location yet until you give them that code. What's your code? And all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Then they verify.
So just be very careful. And when you go to these countries, like Anthony was saying, stick with company transfers. You never want the person who's just saying taxi, who doesn't have a company car.
Yeah.
They could be anyone.
Random person.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Our next mishap on the list is number 15, unwanted attention or scams.
Scammer.
Biggest mishap ever.
Scammer alert.
We're able to say this because my parents are Jamaican. One of your parents are Jamaican.
Scammers.
Yeah. You have to be careful when you're going to certain countries, like the loud, gaudy jewelry. If you have a diamond, flip it over to the other side. And that's just like not in Jamaica alone. That's in any country where there could be scams.
Definitely don't want to be a target.
Exactly. Exactly. But you definitely want to make sure that you're more low key. Because even if you don't realize it, people are watching.
They're watching.
They're watching you so much.
I feel like somebody's watching me.
Even myself, when I'm in the airport and I see people walking by, like I can see that they're a target. And I'm not even looking, I would never harm anyone, but I'm just saying like, oh my gosh, like they just seem so preoccupied and all over the place. All over the place.
You got to have your head on a swivel, watch your six. Pay attention, looking at, seeing everybody. Be aware of all your surroundings at every point in time.
Yeah. Even when people who are, and I know this is horrible, when people are so overly friendly and they come to talk to me, I am like, I'm talking to them.
Hold on, bruh. Back up, bruh.
Like, I'm listening to what they're saying. I'm engaging.
Yeah.
But my mind is like, where's your bag? Where's your purse? Where's your, because maybe that's that New York in me.
That New York. You know, they got a lot of scammers out in New York. You know what I mean?
Maybe it's that. I just feel like people can try to distract you. So you just have to be very careful when you're traveling.
While somebody else is coming up behind trying to pickpocket you or take something. So you always be looking around, head on a swivel. Yeah. Watch your six.
Absolutely.
Pull it back up, bruh. Back up.
For sure. Alrighty. So our next mishap that can happen, number 16, getting sick from food or water.
Ooh, don't drink the water. In Mexico, they even tell you. In Mexico, they have bottles of water, depending on, the resort you're staying at. Bottles of water there for you to rinse your mouth out with when you're brushing your teeth. And sometimes, you get in the shower, sometimes you're like, because we know somebody, they forgot, and they're in the shower. And I guess they're used to just open their mouth in the shower. And they're like, I forgot I'm in Mexico.
Yeah. But if you're staying at a resort that's a luxury resort or a reputable resort, they should be filtering the water at the hotel.
Of course.
And they should be even, of course, filtering the water that you're drinking. Because I remember when we first started going to Mexico, we were like, we're not going to drink the water. And then they made us a drink and we're like, and we're like,
oh no.
But they filtered the water.
Even the ice as well, too.
Number 17 of mishaps. Jet lag. So jet lag means that you've been on a flight, you go somewhere else, they have a different time difference. And because of the time difference, you just cannot get adjusted. And Anthony is the king of jet lag. I mean, we had lay flats where he was able to sleep the entire time laying flat.
And I didn't sleep the entire time because I struggle sleeping when I'm not in my own bed.
I do see that.
Even though I struggle in my own bed.
We arrive in Europe and we said, what's the tip to avoid jet lag? Go.
Gotta keep going.
So we dropped our bags and we went straight into our first excursion. And I mean, this poor lady that was giving us this tour.
She was doing a great job, by the way.
But every time it was a private tour, so it was just the two of us. It's like if you're in church and it's a boring service and the pastor is preaching to two, you cannot go to sleep. You have to keep your eyes open. So he was like, every time that she looked back, she's like, and over here you have and Anthony was like, and I was like hitting him, like, wake up. And he's, sorry.
I couldn't help it.
You fell asleep at every single stop.
Was it every single stop or was it? And you know what? It was cold. And, it wasn't like it was bright and sunny when we first got there. It was kind of like, it seemed like it was getting a little dark. There was cloudy. So it's like putting you to sleep. It's cold. It's cozy. Have a nice little cozy thing. I'm like, yeah. Coliseum. Yeah.
yeah. Coliseum. Like, this is something you see every day. The Coliseum. Yeah.
But I would wake up when we got to our stop where we had to get out and walk around.
Yeah. He would be like, he'd get up and he's like, this is amazing. As soon as it was like they drugged you in the car.
Like you said earlier, when you got to plug your phone in and you got to charge, we got charge in a previous episode. When your phone isn't fully charged? And you get somewhere, as soon as you get to a place where you got to charge it up because you're at like 5%, you got to charge it in, you get an extra 20%, so it's ready. And then once you get back, you're like, I'm down to 1%. I got to plug in and charge again. That was me. My charging was getting back in that vehicle, sleeping for a little bit, ready to go at the next spot.
But the whole point of the car ride was for her to give you the history behind the next location.
Well, you know what? Good thing we were recording it. Well, yeah. We were recording it.
Me.
So we are able to go back and we can rewatch it.
Yes. So the tips for jet lag is to go. Sleep on the plane.
Sleep on the plane. Taking maybe some, what's the drug they say you take over the counter to make you go to sleep? Melatonin. Take that, which I haven't taken before. Speaking of that, we gave our dog Milo some the melatonin version for him to be able to sleep on the plane, and that boy fought it. It only worked for a few minutes. He was right back to his antics. We gave him something
stronger than melatonin. It was actually like drugs to put him down.
It didn't work.
to put him to sleep. Yeah.
And then it's just like that sleepy time tea. You know what? I should try sleepy time tea when I get on the plane. Oh, I can't bring it out. Oh, I can bring the tea bag. Mm-hmm. And I can ask them for some hot water. Nobody ever thought of that. Add that to the tip list. Sleepy time tea. This commercial is brought to you by Sleepy Time.
Alrighty. All right, Number 18. Unrealistic expectations. So basically, that's so important. Like, if you go into a trip and you have unrealistic expectations, you are going to think your trip is going to go one way. Yeah. When it goes the other, you're disappointed.
Yeah. Like, don't have unrealistic expectations that the person you're traveling with won't take little naps to be recharged.
Yes. So they can't say I've never been on a solo trip because I've done solo traveling with you right beside me.
Oh, gosh.
Alrighty, number 19.
Ooh.
Lack of proper travel insurance. We've addressed that earlier.
Yep.
Make sure you purchase travel insurance. If you're booking with a travel consultant, they can provide that for you to make sure you're completely covered. And number 20, the
20.
biggest mishap of all
Biggest
is
mishap.
inadequate planning or research. And that's where you leave it up to I Can't Wait to Travel. We are here to help you, to prepare you with a perfect hotel to meet your needs, with curate all of your activities, tell you about the great restaurants, about the shopping in the area.
Magnifique.
Our job is to provide your experience.
That's what it's about, experiences.
So we've wrapped up the 20 top mishaps.
20 top mishaps.
Giving you our tips.
And tricks.
And I've had so much fun sharing our heart, our travels, our stories with you in season 1. I feel very vulnerable and exposed after this season. You've heard so much about us, but I've never felt more comfortable with sharing it with people who have the same heart and mind.
That's right.
So thank you for being a part of season 1. Make sure you like, subscribe, and come back in a few weeks, and we'll be shooting season 2.
Season 2. See you guys next time. Bye-bye now. Like and subscribe.